Hi guys, we are still talking about adjectives. We come to superlative degree. As we said before, there are 3 degrees of the adjective. One, first of all, positive degree, then comparative degree, and the last one, superlative degree. Now we are going to discuss superlative degree. Superlative adjectives or superlative degrees are of 3 kinds. 1-syllable adjectives like tall, short, fat, thin, and so on. For example, the castle is the oldest building in the city. We use then the adjective, which is old, then we add est, and so on. Another example, she is the tallest of her sisters. Here we have the word tall. We add est because it is a word or an adjective of 1 syllable only. How do we know that the word is 1 syllable or 2 syllables or 3 syllables? We look at the vowels in the word. For example, the word tall, here we have just 1 vowel, so it is 1 syllable word. Okay, with 3 adjectives, with some adjectives like narrow, cruel, pleasant, gentle, polite, handsome, stupid, likely, funny, we either add the adjective or add most or least. We can add just est or st to the adjective, or we use most or least before the adjective. For example, Mrs. Perry is the politest or most polite neighbor I have. So we use est, or we add est to the adjective, or we use most or least before the adjective. Like this example, Mrs. Perry is the politest or most polite neighbor I have. He is the most handsome, or he is the handsomest one in the family, for example. 2-syllable words like beautiful, interesting, and useful, we use the word most or least before the adjective. For example, the painting is the most beautiful I have ever seen. Another example, I think art is the least or the most difficult subject I have. Okay, now we come to irregular adjectives that have no strict rules, or there is no specific rule to learn them, so we have to keep them by heart, or we have to memorize just to use them correctly when we are using superlative adjectives. These or some of these words are: good becomes the best, bad becomes the worst, little becomes the least, much becomes the most, far becomes furthest, the furthest or the farthest. When we say furthest, we mean more than, furthest concerning or related to distance. Let's have these examples to know how we form superlative adjective with irregular adjectives. Jonah is the most intelligent person I know, or Jonah is the least intelligent person. We use the plus most or least and the adjective without adding anything to the adjective, then complete the sentence as it is. Of the 3, she thinks best. Here, of the 3, she thinks best. Why don't we use the before the word best? Because best here functions as an adverb, not as an adjective. So we don't use the. For example, of all my family, I like my father best, not the best. Of all my family, I like my father best, because best here functions as an adverb, not an adjective. But if best here is an adjective, we have to use that before it. For example, Lucy is the best athlete. Here best is an adjective, so we use the. Okay, also we can omit the word the in informal speech if it comes before some stative verbs like looks, sounds, verb to be, become, and so on. Let's have this example. They have got them. Them here means shirts or t-shirts or something like that. They have got them in red, green, or gray. Which looks best? We here don't use that because it is first of all in informal speech and before some stative verbs or state verbs like look and sound and so on. Okay. Also, before a superlative adjective, we can use a possessive determiner. We can use possessive determiners like my, his, her, and so on, or the plus a number like 2, 3, first, and so on, or a possessive determiner plus a number. So here we have 3 kinds in which we can use or we can't use the in superlative adjective. If we have, for example, if we have a possessive determiner like my, or his or their if we have a number like two or third or second, or if we have a possessive determiner plus a number. Let's have these three kinds, a sentence for each kind. He is my best friend. Here we use my instead of the. So as far as we use a possessive pronoun or determiner, we don't use the. The second example, she is the second. Here we use a number. She is the second tallest. So after second comes tallest without the person in her family. Or if we have a possessive and a number in the same sentence, this is my second. Here second and before it possessive pronoun or determiner plus number, so we don't use the. This is my second favorite novel. Okay, also we can use some words to emphasize superlative adjectives to ascertain or to make them clear. For example, this method is by far or somehow the least complicated. We use by far to emphasize the superlative adjective. Another example, she is easily the best dancer in the group. Okay, also let's have when we use to plus infinitive. If we are talking about superlative adjective, we can use after the superlative adjective to plus infinitive or who plus past simple tense. Let's have these examples to clarify the meaning. Neil Armstrong was the first person to step foot on the moon. Here we use after the superlative adjectives, which is the first, plus to plus infinitive. So we said Neil Armstrong was the first person to step. Instead of this, we can use who plus simple tense or past simple tense. We can say Neil Armstrong was the first person who stepped foot on the moon. For example, she is the first woman to become a lawyer. She is the first woman to become. Here we use to plus infinitive, or we can say she is the first woman who became a lawyer. So after superlative adjective we can use to plus infinitive or who plus past simple tense. Okay, he is the best teacher. Here we are going to have or to learn some ways to express one idea. Let's have this example to express the same ideas by many ways. If I say he is the best teacher I have ever met, we can use this sentence in other forms to give the same meaning. For example, I have never seen such a good teacher, or I have never seen like a good teacher. We have such or like in this sentence. Another use, we can this teacher is better than, this teacher is better than other teachers. Here we don't have to use than. So the teacher is better than other teachers. Or no teacher is better than this teacher or than this one. Or the last one, no teacher is as good as this teacher. All these ways express one idea, which is he is the best teacher I have ever seen, or I have never seen such a good or like a teacher. This is end of our session. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.